it again. Cheers. Wow. Don't. That's all I have to say. That's all I have to say to that. We're checking out more spoiled kids. Just roll my eyes. Just rolling my eyes before I even read them because I just know that I'm gonna be annoyed. We need to tell these children don't. I caught one of my high school students stealing from a vending machine. He ended up getting 2 days suspension, call home, whole deal. When he came back, I heard him talk about what he did on his days off. His mom brought him to the mall, bought him a new outfit from Hollister, which he was wearing, headphones, and whatever the new Call of Duty was, and he played it all day the next day. Kid gets suspended for stealing, he gets a 2-day vacation, and his mother spends over $100 on him. And that's why he's getting suspended. Parenting. Literally, like, y'all, I don't know about you and how you were raised, but if I got caught stealing and I got suspended, like, there is no reward for me. Like, in the slightest. I did get suspended once. No regrets. I was defending a friend. My roommate is an application essay reader for university's business school. He was just telling me about a kid who wrote his overcoming hardship essay about how he really wanted a boat because all of his friends had boats and it was hard for him to be left out. Oh, so hard. Then he overcame his hardships when his parents bought a boat. Oh, just kill me. Okay. Guys, I can't even do anything but just laugh at that. Different worlds. Different worlds. Like, I would love if that was my hardship. Like, imagine all of our hardships in life. Like, that's what we overcame. Yeah, I would love to trade in some of my trauma for that. When I delivered pizza in a wealthy area, I had the following incident. I got to the big house, big, fancy, etc. I ring the doorbell and no one answers. I knock in case it's broken. Still no answer. I call the house. No answer. As I'm about to call my boss and tell him what's going on, my phone rings and it's some lady who reveals herself to be the mother of the kid who ordered the pizza, and she said he'd be right to the door in a moment. So I'm waiting for another 5 minutes, and flying down the street and into the driveway comes a Mercedes G-Class. A woman frantically gets out, pays me, doesn't tip, and apologizes that she couldn't get her son to come up from the basement because he's watching a movie. So this idiot woman let her C-word son do that, and she drove all the way from work back to her house to answer her own door and bring this brat his pizza and breadsticks. I would have said, leave it on the porch. He will have to come up for food if he wants it that bad. Or if I am gonna drive all the way home, I'm gonna take that pizza and breadsticks and bring it back to my work and eat it myself at my desk. And that is why I do not have children. Can you imagine this sass trying to raise a child? Especially because they're like, you always get one of your own. Like, imagine a little me. Oh, the sass. It would be out of control. There's no way. I don't have patience. I don't know. You talk back to me, I will play that game. I will play that game. I'm not mature enough. I can't do it. But at least I'm like aware of myself. I'm aware that I'm not ready to be a parent, so I'm not gonna be a parent. An 8-year-old kid at a preschooler event. The kids were painting a playhouse. Snowflake dominated one side. Oh. Are we calling the 8-year-old a snowflake? Snowflake dominated one side and tried to recruit any and every adult to make other kids not paint. Snowflake was fed with some lines that he used to not take any responsibility for his thoughts and actions. Quote, I'm just trying to make my painting and all these kids are ruining it. I have anger issues. These kids are pushing my buttons and I can't be held responsible for what they want me to do. He growled and pushed. I am pretty sure that little effer painted the back of my 2-year-old's shirt. Well, this just seems like a miserable time. He was just being a little annoying to all the other kids. And I guess when you're an older kid, it's like lead by example, you know what I mean? I went out with my roommate for ice cream the first time we met. His parents were loaded while I went there with scholarships. He said it would be his treat. We went to an ATM machine and he withdrew $500 because he wasn't sure how much ice cream costs. I thought he was trying to impress me with his BS. 2 years later, I learned enough about him and his family and realized he was just that far out of touch with the rest of the world. He got a check for $3 million at his 21st birthday because his parents didn't know what to get him. I cannot. No. He didn't want to live alone and wanted a normal college experience, so I got the pleasure of sharing a living space with this dude. Yeah, I am so out of touch with his reality. I can't really process those numbers. Also, I love that this is like spoiled kids and this is someone in college, but technically he is spoiled from his parents, so it still goes under the category because he is their kid, but it's just funny. I was like reading about 5-year-olds and now I'm like, you're in college. Growing up, my cousins were always treated better than my grandmother and aunts than my siblings and I were for some reason. Maybe it had to do with the fact that my parents divorced and all my relatives were strict Southern Baptists. Maybe it was because they were all snooty and we weren't. I don't know. As a kid, I didn't understand it, but I definitely felt like I was always getting the short end of the stick at family events. Never was it more clear to me than the Easter I was about 8 years old and my cousin Lauren about 5. The adults decorated and hid eggs around the yard, including customized eggs for each child with their own name on it. The entire time the search was on, adults were urging me to let Lauren have the eggs that I found since she's smaller and doesn't understand sharing. This went on until they actually made me give her the Easter egg that had my name on it. Her basket was literally full of eggs and I had none, and everyone was okay with that. For a while after we grew up, I was friends with Lauren on Facebook, but she's still very materialistic and not too interested in knowing me. I hate to say it, but she turned out to be a basic white biatch in most senses of the term. I just feel like at 5, like I used to be in ECE, and in the preschool classes when I was the teacher of 5-year-olds, like they definitely were taught sharing, and maybe they didn't agree with it or understand it, but we very much spoke about it every single day in the classroom. So rather than just giving them what they want, maybe this is a great opportunity to use the Easter egg hunt to teach them the importance of sharing. My sister refuses to look for a job and as a result moves back home. She uses my parents' vehicle to drive around with her boyfriend and go to parties and stuff. One day there's a family emergency and the car is not in the driveway for her to use. She throws a tantrum, trashes the house, and runs away with her boyfriend. By the way, my sister is 22 years old. I love that they're really lumped in with the spoiled kids. They're not acting like they're 22. There were so many and it was so long ago that it's hard to choose. There was the girl who was pissed off about going back to the French Riviera for vacation when she really wanted to go to Hawaii. We also had a guy that was unable to achieve passing grades, so his parents paid off the teachers and staff so he could graduate. What a great life lesson. My personal favorite was the millionaire's kid that stole cars as a hobby and never went to jail because his father had money. Great. Congratulations to all 3 of them. They're really gonna learn some hard, valuable lessons in life. I knew one wealthy girl whose parents offered to buy her a car when she turned 16. They told her they would buy her a new Honda Civic manual transmission so that she had a safe, reliable car to get to school and all of her extracurriculars, and so she would learn to drive stick. In return, she would have to drive her younger siblings around and help run some errands that required a car. They took her to the dealership and she threw a tantrum in the car dealership demanding a BMW like her mom drove, crying, screaming until her parents, who seemed reasonable up until this point, gave in and bought her one. Also, she never drove her siblings around or helped with anything. Why would she? Because she can just throw a fit and then get whatever she wants. I worked in a gift shop on a holiday campsite and this kid, about 7 years old, came in wanting an inflatable ball. When he saw all the inflatable dinghies, he decided he wanted one of those instead. His grandparents said no, he could have a ball. So the kid lost his and screamed that he wanted a dinghy. His mom picked him up and carried him outside and held him and kissed him until he stopped crying. He's 7? She then came inside and gave him the money for the dinghy. The kid had a smug look on his fat little face, then threw the packet at me and said, "Blow it up." I threw it back, said no, and served the next customer. And that is how you raise entitled little D. That is true. That is exactly how you raise them. That right there. If I threw a fit for not getting something, like if my parents were like, no, we can't buy that, and I threw a fit, joke would be on me, sis. Like, shut your mouth. Like, I would never. I just knew better. I knew better. That would never fly with my parents because they did a great job raising me. Hard world out there. It's hard to raise good humans in such a shitty world. Words to live by. That was like so Dr. Phil of me. Went to school with the girl who got a 2012 BMW and literally cried and cussed out her parents because she didn't get a 2015. We are all just really living different lives, aren't we? Hearing these stories, I'm just like, that's a different world. That's a different life. Like, I feel like all those people should be on a different planet, living with each other, maybe, and then like all of us over here on this planet. That'd be really interesting. That's actually really interesting. I feel like someone should make that a movie. I don't know how to explain this idea. I think it sounds cooler in my head. Even like all celebrities in the world would be separate from us. They'd be on their own planet because they all got money and they can relate to each other because we cannot relate to that, obviously. You know what I'm saying? And then like, I don't know. Anyways, Joce, you're tired. You're tired. Terrible idea. My employer's 2 sons have everything paid for, so they never have to worry about cost. They both have everything they want and need. One of them likes expensive, shiny things, and he's always throwing fits until he gets what he wants from what his dad told me. For Christmas, he wanted a $1,200 55-inch Samsung curved TV, even after his dad stated that his budget was $1,000 for each. $1,000. He threw fits and got mad at his dad, and his dad, being the wimp he is, apologized and ended up buying it for him anyway. The son is 21 years old. Well, it doesn't even surprise me. You cannot give in. You need to be strong. Strong like bull. And say no. And stick to your freaking word when you say no. The fact that he apologized, so Canadian of you, apologizing when you shouldn't. My cousin is so spoiled, he still doesn't feed himself. He's 10. Are we sure? Are we sure? Can we confirm this information? Is there other reasons? Like, you're making it sound like he's fully capable of feeding himself, but he doesn't because he's spoiled? Well, I wouldn't even want to be fed by my parents at 10. How uncomfortable. I was on a school bus as a senior. As we stopped at a house, there was a dead dog. Oh, a dead dog by the road. The little girl getting off said to her friend who pointed it out, "Oh yeah, we just got him this weekend. My dad will just get me another one, so it doesn't matter." That is where I draw the line. I quit. I'm getting off YouTube. I'm not filming anymore. You have crossed the line with me, internet. That is enough internet for today. No, we do not talk about dogs in harm's way. That breaks my, I can't even think about it. Horrific. We need to move on. Go to a happy place. It's a world full of Hannah Montana and pickles. A friend of mine saved up for an iPod when they first came out. Literally saved for a year to get one. His mom took him and his sister to go to the mall so he can purchase his. His sister started throwing a tantrum because she didn't have one now. Their mom got so fed up with her about it, she bought the sister one just to shut her up. No. See, I was like vibing with this. I'm like, you know what? They said, oh, you want an iPod? Work hard, save for a year, and I'll take you to go get it. Valuable lesson. Great. And then what a freaking waste. And that the other person who saved for a year is probably like, are you freaking kidding me? You just handed her one. Like, I would have just thrown a fit had I known that you were just gonna buy one for me. All right, guys, I'm getting out of here. This is too stressful for me. Stay classy out there. Stay sassy. And if you're a parent, God bless. That must be tough, man. That must be really, really tough. I respect parents a lot because couldn't be me.